Yes, this Jackson Smith and Jigba, who's at the top of the league at wide receivers, has 25 less receptions than the entire Tennessee Titan receiving corps. He has 20 more receiving yards than the entire Tennessee Titan receiving corps. He has one more touchdown than the entire Tennessee Titan receiving corps. So, Tennessee Titans, if you want a chance to win this game, you're going to have to game wreck Sam Darnold in the middle of his offensive line and force him into some bad throws because I don't see any other way for the Tennessee Titans to win this game. We have a non-existent run game. Our weapons are beat up. The coaching staff better get in 12 personnel and run the ball effectively. Let Cam Ward make good decisions and make it a game like it was last week where you give yourself a fighting chance in the second half, because the Seahawks have one of the best receiving corps in the league. We have one of the most beat up defensive secondaries when it comes to cornerbacks with Darrell Baker Jr., Marcus Harris in the slot, and Jalen Armour Davis. Hopefully we'll get to see a little bit of Womack, a little bit of Micah Robinson to give us just some kind of a change of pace at corner because we're in trouble. Jackson Smith and Jigba, Cooper Kupp, Shaheed, Horton probably won't play, but that's a nasty quartet of wide receivers that the Tennessee Titans should be trying to follow next offseason coming into the draft, saying, okay, you got Aomana, you got DK, you can bring Van Jefferson back as the 5th or 6th receiver in depth, but we got to go get some dunkers. You seen last night, Nico Collins and Higgins running 10-yard stop routes. It's just cheat code. See the Panthers do it with Liggett and T-Mac. You got to have those big guys on the outside. They can win the ones and make contested catches, because if not, we're going to be looking like this every single week that we line up when you have a team that has a superior wide receiver core going against a young, inexperienced secondary, which guys that none of them were starting coming into the year. So it's going to be a tough challenge for the Tennessee Titans. I mean, like, I don't know any kind of nice way to say it. I mean, you go across the board, they got us outmanned and outmatched. But if you want a chance to win the game, you got to affect Sam Darnold in the pocket with Jeff Simmons and T. Sweat up front. Denard Wilson's been doing an outstanding job. He's made lemonade out of just lemons. No sugar, no water, just lemons. And he's made it taste good. Hopefully the performance that he's had this year will get him a defensive coordinator, at least a chance to interview for the job still here, which I doubt it, but hopefully he lands on his feet with another D coordinator job, or for sure a major role in somebody's defense going forward, because he's done more than an admirable job with what he's been given. But he's got a tall test. We get to see more Kevin Winston Jr. in action, back deep with Monty, but I just don't see a way for the Titans to slow down that passing attack if Jeff Simmons and T. Sweat just don't wreck the game Sunday. And even if they do, the Tennessee Titans being so thin at receiver, the fact that when you actually do call up guys, they're not guys who have caught passes in the NFL game. So Titans better go to 12 personnel. They better be able to run the ball effectively. They better play the field position game and the clock management game and get themselves a chance, because Seahawks had a bad performance and lost by 2 against the Rams. Missed a field goal at the buzzer. The Titans cannot come out with a slow start and get behind the ball. They're gonna have to win the turnover battle. They're gonna have to win the time of possession, and they're gonna have to make it count. Like, they're gonna have to make the Seahawks kick field goals when they get in position, and the Titans are going to have to score if they cross the 50. Like, this can't be one of those games that the Titans is kicking 70-yard field goals. Titans get across the 50. They got to go for it on 4th down. They got to go down and get 6. They said when I watch the NFL games and I see the Titans, I always think of you and your streams. Love the NFL. However, I'm in Canada. Well, we got Alec Aomana, who is a Canadian playing for the Tennessee Titans. Appreciate you tapping in. Joseph Lemieux. Mo. KT2. Y'all got any questions, man? Shop is open. That's the clip that I wanted to put up. I don't know. That gives me no confidence to say that Jackson Smith and Jigba has more receiving yards than the entire Tennessee Titan wide receiver core. The fact that he's only 25 receptions behind the entire wide receiving core. Let me teach you how to and he has more receiving touchdowns than the Titans receiving core. Just know that Mike Berganza got some work to do in this offseason. If y'all haven't checked out my latest mock draft, check it out on my page. I dropped it. That's some things that I think they should do. I even dropped another post with some of the late round talent that the Titans need to add offensively. Anthony Tony, what up? If I want to elaborate more, shout out to PK and TD. PK is one of the Titan beat writers, and TD is the ESPN writer for the Titans. Two of the guys that I actually respect and like to watch their content in the Tennessee Titans media space. And I had made a post a few weeks ago saying I'd love to see national media get these guys in to do some work, and I like to see them two do some work together. And today they did a pod together, and I got to check it out. I watched the whole thing, and they brought up a lot of the points that I kind of been slapping around with Tony Pollard and his ineffectiveness. A lot of things going on with the Tennessee Titans as it comes up to this offseason, this coaching staff and the draft. And they both thought that the Titans should look at Breece Hall. I like to see what y'all think about that. In going through my free agents, I looked at Breece Hall and K9 as probably the two top backs that'll hit free agency this year. I just don't know if those are two names that make me want to spend money. I don't know if they solve our problem at the running back position. My thought was you're going to cut Pollard in the offseason. You won't be able to trade him. Nobody's going to take on his contract, and I don't think you get much back for it. It's not really worth your while. You just eat the $2 million and move on from Tony and thank him for his hard work and efforts. But Tajay's last year coming up, so you're going to get a running back who's on a contract year, and Khalil Mullins is on his second week of return from off of IR. So we should get to see him at some point at the end of this season. And I kind of talked about them. I said they kind of like the great value version of Devin Achane and Ollie Gordon, but they could be just as effective for the Tennessee Titans. Smash and dash, two different styles of runners. One a more powerful runner between the tackles, and another one that could get out to the outside and make people miss in space, which is Tajay Spears. But bring me those two guys next year and give me like a Nick Singleton or somebody like that in about the 5th round, and I think that'll be a solid running back core. If you looked at my GMs for late rounds or undrafted guy like Raleek Brown, who is on USC and went to Arizona State, they definitely need to have 4 backs coming in. I don't want to spend $8-10 million on Breece Hall or K9 the way we did with Tony Pollard. I like to go to the draft and try to get some guys and make more of an effort with the new coaching staff to get a more effective ground game. I think the biggest part of the Tennessee Titan ground game not being effective is when you take play calling away from Brian Callahan, you don't think about you brought him to call plays, but his dad, Bill Callahan, was the O-line coach and the run game coordinator. So when you remove your play caller and your run game coordinator and you take your quarterback's coach and skip your OC and make him the play caller, and then Nick Holtz is there who just got skipped over to be the play caller to still be OC. Now who's running the run game? And it's suffered ever since. I don't think they have a direction of where they want to go with the run game. They had a really good run. TD and PK had talked about the pin pull outside sweep kind of out of the shotgun that Spears had the long run. a few weeks ago, and they never went back to that play. It seems as if every play that they do run wise, that's effective, they go away from it. They don't quarterback sneak it like other teams. I don't know. Just puts you in a spot where an ineffective run game, playing against the Texans, the Colts twice, playing against the Raiders where Max Crosby is lined up over JC on his first game back for a month. Chargers defense, Rams defense. I mean, we about to play the Seahawks. Like all the top defenses, the Broncos. We play all the top defenses in the NFL, minus the Cardinals, and that's what you get. You get a team that can't run the ball with a rookie quarterback. They got to be able to run at some point down the stretch to take the pressure off, and it doesn't get any easier because you got the Chiefs who are going to be hungry for a win. You got the Browns with Myles Garrett, and then you got the Jags. So, I mean, you got some athletic defenses that the Titans still got to face. They got to run the ball if they don't want to get Cam Ward killed down the stretch. Yo, my dog Chaos, what's good? Everything been good, bro? How's you and the fam? Becker. Jeremiah Love just saying if you trade back, you trade up, he makes out the top 10. Yeah, I've been saying that about Jeremiah Love, that really the Titans draft is like pretty simple. If you think about it. At the end of the day, Titans are going to trade back out of one. There are 4 or 5 teams that's going to have multiple firsts. Got to make up your mind what team is going to want to sell out to get it. You come into the draft. If the Titans are still in the top 5, you're taking Arvell Reese or Ruben Bain. It's quite simple. Do you want Jared Verse or do you want Micah Parsons as an edge rusher? Then after that, if you get in the 5 to 10 range, you got to be thinking about wide receiver, O-line, cornerback, or running back. But you just take best player available based on who you got evaluated. I love to take Jeremiah Love, but the way our team sits, you have to ask yourself, like, if we miss on Reese or Bain trading back and Carnell Tate is there at like 8 or 9, if we trade him back with, like, say, the Rams, it'd be hard to pass over wide receiver 1 and go Jeremiah Love. Depending on what they do in free agency. You know, if it's true that they are going after a Breece Hall or somebody like that, or you think you could get Nick Singleton or somebody like that in the later rounds, you know, you have to weigh your options. Now, if the Titans trade and they're back between 10 and 15, if let's say they traded with the Cowboys, right now Cowboys got like 12 and I think they got like 12 and 19 or 12 and 20 something. Like, but you know, picking at 12, you know, Jeremiah, like, you know, Mekhi Lemon and Carnell Tate off the board between 5 and 10. If Jeremiah Love is there, I'd take Jeremiah Love over a cornerback. You see what I'm saying? So it just depends on how far back we trade, because you got to get 2 firsts out of one of these teams. Potentially the best trade scenario would be Titans trade back with a team, get 2 firsts. One of those firsts is in the top 10, and then they get a first next year, or they get some later round. But I don't think they should be pushing for later rounds. I think they should be looking for the first next year. You get 2 firsts this year, a first next year. You get 3 firsts. Make the trade. You're still going to get a second. You're still going to get a third. Draymond Jones, you're probably going to get 2 fourths. You're going to come in with a 5th, and then you're going to get 2. You're going to get 3 6s. You're going to get Jarvis Brownlee Jr. You're going to get Roger McCreary, and then your own. So the Tennessee Titans could have 3 6-round picks, a 7th, a 5th, 2 fourths, a 3rd, a 2nd, and potentially 2 firsts. Like, if you can't get what you need out of that, mixed with the fact that you can still trade Will Levis for a pick between the 4th and 6th round. On top of that, like the Tennessee Titans, let's say you traded, you know, Levis for a 5th. You know, you're talking about a 7th, 3 6, 2 5ths, 2 fourths, a 3rd, a 2nd, and 2 firsts. Like, if you can't get the team right with that in an unlimited amount of cap space, just about, then they don't deserve to ever be good. That's just the true sheet when it comes down to the draft. I'm truly feeling like just get through the season by any means necessary and hope we pray nobody else gets hurt while securing the number 1 pick. True. But that's what I see though. I mean, the Seahawks game is gonna be a tough one. They have top to bottom. It's gonna be hard for you to go through and find where you think the Titans can win it. They got to go 12 personnel. They got to be able to run the ball. They got to play efficiently. They got to win the turnover battle. They got to be able to pressure Sam Darnold up the middle with Jeff and T Sweat, because that's where the hole in the line is going to be. But at the same time, the fear in that is Mike McDonald, a coach that we had on our coaching search when we hired Brian Callahan, is going to kill us on the edges. Since Femi been out, people been able to run stretching outside zone on us. If we push in the pocket from the middle and Arden Key and Jahad Ward are pass rushers, you know, Charbonnet and K9 could eat us up running stretching outside zone the way we did when we played the Colts. The Colts killed us running outside the tackles, one cutting, you know, and then if we have to suck up to stop the run game, it's going to be all over with Darrell Baker Jr. and Jalen Armour Davis trying to stay with Cooper Kupp and Jackson Smith and Jigba on the back end if they're able to play action and buy time for Sam Darnold. He said, my thing is I can see them trading Spears if we didn't draft him. Who's trading for a running back who hasn't been productive that doesn't have an ACL sheet? It's like you being a little bit too optimistic there. Like, reality is we can't even trade Pollard. Pollard's too big of a cap hit for somebody to take Pollard. So we're gonna eat the $2 million on Pollard and just let Tajay play his last year of his rookie deal. And if he balls out, then that's a whole different story. But why would somebody trade for a rookie running back drafted in the 3rd round on an expiring contract? They would more likely just wait for us to cut him if they thought we didn't want him. You see what I'm saying? Like, what has Spears done for somebody that want to trade a draft pick for him? And I like Tajay, but I mean, he hasn't been healthy enough or done enough, you know, for a team to want to trade for him. Tajay Spears has played 6 games out of 10. He's on IR the first month. 34 carries for 155 yards, 4.6 a carry, a long of 41 with 1 touchdown. And in the receiving game, Tajay Spears has 18 receptions for 127 yards, 7 yards per catch, and no touchdowns receiving with a long of 26. So, I mean, if you take that 26-yard catch off, he's got 17 catches for 100 yards. Like that ain't nothing nobody want to trade for. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you want to look at the Seahawks, adverse to that, K9 has 136 carries for 600 yards and 4 touchdowns. Charbonnet has 105 carries for 350 and 6 touchdowns. So their 2 running backs got 10 touchdowns. I don't think our running backs combined will have 10 touchdowns when the season is over. So you just got to look at it from that perspective of, like, we don't really have much outside of Will Levis that you could trade to get value in trade for Sheed. You see what I'm saying? Like, best case scenario is Khalil Mullins comes back off an injury, off IR. They elevate him. They start giving Tajay and Khalil snaps over Tony Pollard. And at the end of the season, you feel confident enough to say Tajay and Khalil come back and I draft a running back. Like I said, like Nick Singleton in about the 5th, one of those extra picks. And then in the 7th round, undrafted, you go get Raleek Brown. Then you got 4 backs. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the way you got to look and say, I'm going to let those other 2 backs groom their way in. And in Tajay leads, I got Khalil Mullins, Nick Singleton, and Raleek Brown. That, like, to me, that's the way. And if the Titans are able to flip their team around in free agency and look like the Bears are looking now, then maybe that next year you say, okay, who's that stud running back coming out that we could take a shot at in the 2nd round? You know, Derrick Henry is the 2nd round running back. Jonathan Taylor is a 2nd round running back. You know, Usually that's where you get them goons at. I mean, now you got Bijan Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs, but those are teams that had way more talent across the board than the Titans when they took them. So as much as I like to flirt with the idea of getting Jeremiah Love, I don't think it's realistic. I think Jeremiah Love winds up on like the Bears or somewhere. Stud, what up? Suave, ATL, what up? That's my honest. But y'all got any questions? Drop them in the chat. Discord open. If you agree, disagree, indifferent. But that's what I think about this game. Only way the Titans win is they go 12 personnel. Gunner and Chig get like, and you know what's crazy about the Titans? Everybody across the media and every fan knows the strength of the team receiving is the tight ends and the backs. And it take for Calvin Ridley to break a leg, Jim DK to get a concussion, and A.O. Monitor to hurt his hamstring, to have no receivers. The last drive that Cam Ward went 95 yards for a touchdown to tie the game is tight end play. You know, tight ends making contested catches. So if you got two really young and good athletic tight ends that are your best pass catchers, which Chig Okonkwo leads the Titans in receiving in pretty much every category. He's got 32 receptions for 337 yards. He leads the team in receptions and pass yards. So at the end of the day, like, if I see them come out Sunday and they're not in 12 personnel, running the ball and, you know, shifting and play action and getting the ball out hot, then like what else is there to say? So they're going to have to run the ball. They're going to have to play action. They're going to have to be in 12 personnel a lot more than they have been. And, you know, Big Jeff and T-Sweat are going to have to game wreck, because I just don't know how. I don't even think it's fair to ask Darrell Baker Jr., Amar Davis, and Marcus Harris to hold up against JSN,
Let me teach you how to vibe,
and Shaheed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even. And then even when you go past that, the Seahawks got really good tight ends, A.J. Barner and Elijah Arroyo, the old teammate of Cam Ward. Those two tight ends, you know, A.J. Barner, 31 receptions, 300 yards, averaging 10 yards a catch. He's got 4 touchdowns with a long of 61. So, I mean, you look at that, and then you look at Arroyo, the rookie, with 14 catches, 174 yards, a touchdown, almost 13 yards, a reception with a long of 32. When you look at the receiving from the tight ends for the Seahawks, their tight ends have better numbers than our receivers. So they're going to have their hands full. That the Seahawks are a complete team, and they're coming off a bad game, so they're going to be itching to play well. The Titans are going to have to come out and strike first, flip the field, and Big Jeff and T-Sweat going to have to wreck the game. I just don't see any other kind of way that they can keep it close. Jeremiah Love going first round for sure. For sure. Just watch tape on Jeremiah Love and then come back. He's the only running back that should get drafted in the first 100 picks. I know they got Justice Haynes going at the end of the second or the third. I'm not drafting no running back not named Jeremiah Love in the first 100 picks. Man, stop it, stud. Little baby. Nah, knowing our luck, the Rams draft Love with the Atlanta pick. Ooh. Think they done with Kyron Williams and Blake Corum after they fumbled on that 49er game? Bro, I ain't gonna lie. The last time the Rams looked like that is when they had Todd Gurley with Goff. Bro, people don't know how good Todd Gurley was. Todd Gurley was a goon. I still say if Todd Gurley don't get hurt in that Super Bowl, the Rams beat Tom Brady that year. Yeah, I don't think Jeremiah Love get past 15. I think that's the bottom line for Jeremiah Love. I think by pick 15, I think Cuz is out of there. Still saying don't sleep on Katrin Allen. But I'm saying he's like a regular running back. You know what I'm saying? Like Like last year, there's like Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins. Them dudes was like home run hitters. You know what I'm saying? Like with an extra twitch. Amarion Hampton, Ollie Gordon. It was so many running backs last year, you know, with Ashton Genty. Like you look across the like last year it was probably like 10 backs that you like, man, 10 backs might go in the first 100. You're not seeing that this year. Like if I had my way, if I'm not picking Jeremiah Love, if the Titans trade back at the back of the top 10 or out of the top 10, if we not picking Jeremiah Love, I don't want a running back into Nick Singleton in the 5th. Yeah, that's just my honest opinion. Because I need somebody on the Titans backfield that can home run hit. Tony Pollard can't home run hit. Tajay Spears is shifty, but he's not going to home run hit. Khalil Mullins, we don't think he's more of a physical back. You know, like those J.K. Dobbinses, those guys that get the tough yards. The Titans need a guy like that. But, you know, we talking about like somebody with that 4.3 speed that when they get to the second level, like they can home run it. Like Titans need that. Gurley was for sure a demon. Oh yeah, the first pick for the Titans is beyond traded. Literally a hot potato. It's gone. It's literally a hot potato. It's out of there. So I mean, this is tough. Tough for the Tennessee Titans this game. They're 1-9. This homecoming trip has not been kind to them because the Titans play Seattle coming off of a bad loss, and then we got Jacksonville after that. Then they go on the road to Cleveland, on the road to the 49ers, come back home to play the Chiefs. The next 5 games for the Tennessee Titans is gonna be brutal, because they're gonna if the Titans lose and go 1-10, I don't see them beating the Jags. 1-11, you 1-12, you go play Cleveland, and Myles Garrett will be lined up across his favorite left tackle, Dan Moore, which he destroyed Dan Moore in the AFC North last year when Dan Moore was a tackle on the Steelers. And then after that, playing on the road in San Francisco and coming home and playing the Chiefs, who pretty much need to win out, man, things could be bad up until the Saints game. And then potentially the Jaguars game, depending on where their playoff picture looks at the end of the season. Like, Titans in a bad spot. I do mean bad. He said, would y'all, two-time, what up? He said, would y'all be mad if you traded the pick to bulk up? I've actually did a mock where I took an offensive lineman, and that's a question you got to ask yourself. Like, if the Titans, like, let's say the Titans traded back out of the top 10, and they got 2 first-round picks. Let's say it's like the Dallas picks, which is like 12 and 27 and 12 and 28, something like that. And you had 12, and Carnell Tate, Makai Lemon, Jeremiah Love, Arvell Reese, Ruben Bain are all off the board. Sitting right there, like, if you the Titans and you took a tackle, like, I don't think anybody's upset at them taking a tackle right there. But if you look at the mock that I posted today, in the second round with some of my extra picks, I took because I went offense first. I went defense offense. I took Ruben Bain and then Chris Brazil with 5 and 28. At the top of that second round, if you got there's an offensive tackle who's the best, offensive guard who's the best in the draft from Penn State. He's got a Hawaiian name, I can't say it. And then Jennings Dunker is a guy that can play tackle or any position. He's one of them dudes with one of those WWE mustaches out of Iowa. If you talking about right there, I'd be perfectly fine. Because the problem ain't, I'll go on record and say this. I know this is unpopular, but I don't think the Tennessee Titans offensive line is as bad as advertised. The reason why I say that is if you look at the schedule, we played the Chargers. Chargers offensive line was bad. We sacked him 6 times, even after we had a lot of injuries, right? Cam Ward wasn't sacked that much in that game. Adafio Way got 2 back-to-back on Dan Moore, but if you're on the goal line, first and goal, and you're running the Wildcat and you don't QB sneak it from 1 yard out and you get stopped, I'm going to say that's attitude and coaching. I'm going to say, like, since Bill Callahan has been out as run game coordinator and Brian Callahan has been removed, like, the Tennessee Titans just can't run the ball at all. And they weren't good before, but they're even worse now. So I think if you had the attitude of a coach, unlike Mike McCoy, who wanted to come out and quick hit and zone, get our smaller running backs out to the outside, they run Tajay Spears and Tony Pollard like they're Derrick Henry, and they're not. You have to get them to the edge to where they can be effective, or at least let them one cut off a zone. So I don't like, Pete is playing like a top of the league level at left guard. Dan Moore is a very mid left tackle, but he doesn't just get completely destroyed, right? Lloyd Cushenberry, coming off of his injury, plays okay, mid, not great. And then Zietler is just a veteran that has trouble with stunts at time. JC is the one that's really struggled, but even when they gave him a little help, like, JC didn't get done the way that Brown got done. Josh Allen got sacked 8 times last night by the same Texan defense that only sacked Cam 3 times, and we sacked Davis Mills more times than they sacked Cam. We sacked Justin Herbert more times than they sacked. So that's been a trend of the last several games, is Cam Ward getting the ball out hot is only taking, 2-3 sacks a game. And while people be glazing, Drake May is right behind Cam Ward in sacks. He's only like 4 or 5 sacks behind Cam Ward. So it's like, you got to say, like, y'all act like Cam just be taking unnecessary sacks, so the line is just that bad. I think it's just a rookie situation. It's the same as Caleb Williams last year. So I would say that I wouldn't be opposed to taking offensive lineman, but I really think coaching, scheme, and overall talent around in Cam Ward's second year, I don't even think the line is that bad. Because, I mean, you got Jackson Slater in the 5th round this year. Nobody knows if they want to put him at center or they want to put him at guard. Who knows? But you got Drew Moss, Corey Levin, and Blake Haynes coming back. So, I mean, you can put anybody at right guard, bro. You know what I'm saying? So the Titans burn some assets if they trade it back in the 2nd or 3rd round or something. I'm not tripping, but I mean, how much money and how many draft picks are you going to spend on line, and you don't know what you got in your line because your coaching is negative garbage? Bob, what up? Somebody on any edge to get this. But I mean, like, Draymond Jones was balling, and then they traded him to the Ravens. Then Arden Keys came back off of injury, and he had sacks against the Raiders before he got hurt, and then he came back, and he's had a sack in every game and 2 sacks last week. Femi is out. Femi will be back next year. So you got to think, like, when the season started, T-Sweat was on IR and Jeff was out. Then when Jeff came back, when T-Sweat came back, Jeff went on injured. Then early on, Femi was setting a hard edge in the run game and trying to learn the pass game. And as he started getting better, he got hurt. Then here comes Jahar Ward and Draymond Jones. They start getting sacks every game. Then you trade Draymond Jones. Then Arden Key comes back. Now Arden Key's getting sacks. Like, they'll get somebody in free agency and they'll bring a couple of those guys back and they'll get a guy in the draft. But even still, like, Denard Wilson has been doing his thing. Like, the part of the defense that ain't been holding up is L'Jarius Sneed did it allegedly as part of a drive-by, and you traded Jarvis and RMC. But I like Marcus Harris in the slot. But I mean, you got practice squad guys playing outside corner, guard, number 1 receivers in the league. I mean, just think, like, Darrell Baker Jr. and Amar Davis been asked to guard. Michael Pittman and Alec Pierce. This week they're going to be asked to guard Jackson Smith and Jigba and Cooper Kupp. You know, they've been asked to guard Lad McConkey and Keenan Allen and Quinn Johnston. Like, these are backups that's being asked to guard Puka Nacua and Tay Adams. Like, we getting what we supposed to get. Suave ATL. I mean, Cam looked just like Caleb Williams last year. He just got to get him some help, bro. Bob, what up? You think about what the Bears got when they got Caleb Williams and the draft picks that they got, getting the offensive tackle, getting the defensive tackle, getting Luther Burden, getting Mooney in trade, then turn around and getting Roma Dunza, having Cole Kmet and still drafting Colston Loveland, bringing in Swift. I think the Titans got to be at least right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you had to trade back, and this is a good draft, receiver wise, and like skill players that you can load up.